Let's start with what it is that's happening with Pete Hegseth here. It's not just the potential war crimes of blowing up boats and survivors hanging out in the water. It's even more.
Well, that IG report has been delivered to Capitol Hill. According to well-placed sources familiar with the Inspector General report on Signalgate, the Pentagon acting Inspector General, after a months-long investigation, concluded Secretary Pete Hegseth, quote, created risks to operational security, and his actions, sharing operational details before the strike was complete on the commercially available app Signal, quote, could have resulted in failed U.S. mission objectives and potential harm to U.S. pilots. The incident in question occurred back in March. Secretary Hegseth shared details including highly sensitive attack plans, air platforms to be used, and flight times for the strikes and when they would occur.
So as you say there, Jennifer Griffin over at Fox News was reporting on this new revelations reports from the IG, the Inspector General, that looked into Pete Hegseth's Signal chat issues. Now, I know we heard about Signal chat back in March when he paid absolutely zero consequences for what it is that he did. But now that this IG report that, of course, this whole entire administration was trying to eliminate more independent investigations into things that they're doing, now that this one has discovered all this, the news is breaking that, man, this guy's got multiple things. Even worse, he endangered the lives of those folks that went on that strike that he kept hiding behind and saying, how dare you guys criticize our war fighters? But what they were criticizing was Pete Hegseth and his incompetence. But I noticed something there. Jennifer Griffin of Fox News, she's a great reporter who goes straight down the line with reporting these things. She had a previous clash with Pete Hegseth when they were discussing these strikes over these nuclear facilities earlier this year. Do you guys remember that?
Do you have certainty that all the highly enriched uranium was inside the Fordo Mountain, or some of it, because there were satellite photos that showed more than a dozen trucks there 2 days in advance? Are you certain none of that highly enriched uranium was moved?
Of course, we're watching every single aspect, but Jennifer, you've been about the worst, the one who misrepresents the most intentionally. What the president says. I'm familiar.
Report about the ventilation shafts on Saturday night, and in fact, I was the first to describe the B-2 bombers, the refueling, the entire mission with great accuracy. So I take issue with that.
I appreciate you acknowledging that this was the first the most successful mission based on operational security that this department has done since you've been here, and I appreciate that.
It was the beginnings of Pete Hegseth beginning to be full of his absolute lack of real gravitas behind the position that he's got, but having all this confidence in how wrong he always is, or in just hiding all the things that he's doing because he knows how wrong he is. So as she's reporting then the IG report back on this, I had a little bit of like a thought in my head. I was like, is she like maybe enjoying the fact this guy attacked her for no reason and she was just reporting straight what it was that's happening? Maybe because she kept exposing his ass.
Back in March, Hegseth was asked why he had shared plans about a forthcoming attack on Yemen on the Signal messaging app.
Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that.
What was shared over Signal, then and now, however you characterize it, was informal, unclassified coordinations for media coordination and other things. That's what I've said from the beginning.
Here are some of the screenshots that The Atlantic received from the Signal chat, because Jeffrey Goldberg was on that chat. And it said, team update, time now, 11:44 Eastern. Weather is favorable. Just confirmed with CENTCOM. We are a go for mission launch. 12:15 Eastern Standard. F-18's launch. First strike package. 1:45. Trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, should also be on time. Also, strike drones launch. It goes on with dates, with times of the strikes, as well as other platforms that were used. At the end, Hegseth writes on the Signal chat, we are currently clean on OPSEC.
So we've got Fox News reporters that are playing at the time when Pete Hegseth kept denying all these things. There's been no classified information that's been sent over these Signal chats. We were sharing recipes. Upcoming was a little family night dinner, and we were making sure that the casserole was good. No, and then immediately after that, there's Jennifer Griffin exposing exactly what it is that he had in those. That is based off this IG report that we're now finding more information off of everything that they were denying. Let me reference back to the main point of every time I talk on this hour. They're liars. They lied back in March about this. We let it go. We're seeing more information about what it is they lied about. Are we going to do anything about it? We see that they're liars. It's like everywhere. It's like every time they speak. It's not just Fox News that was reporting this, of course. Here's more details of what it is that they found in this report and also how irresponsible he was with sharing this information.
On that Signal chat, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth typed in very specific classified information about this imminent attack on Houthi rebels that included manned aircraft as part of the strike package. Now, of course, this all came to light when Jeffrey Goldberg first reported about it in The Atlantic. But since then, there was a bipartisan call for an investigation. The Department of Defense Inspector General carried that out, and that is what now is being made public in some ways. We know, we first reported last night that the investigation, the report went to Secretary Hegseth yesterday morning. It went to the Hill last night. And now we know that, in fact, despite universally saying by Secretary Hegseth and those around him that the information contained in that Signal chat was not classified, the IG said otherwise, that in fact it was considered secret or not for release to any foreign nationals. And they find that if that information, because of the level of classification, had fallen into the wrong hands, including an adversary, it could have put U.S. troops in danger, it could have endangered the mission, and it could have endangered national security. And then finally, as you can see there on the screen, it also said that the secretary improperly used his personal phone for official DoD business, violating DoD policy.
Crazy, right? It's almost like there was a laundry list of bad actions, incompetence, and absolute stupidity that Pete Hegseth is the head of. And it just continued on to more absolute incompetence, stupidity, corruption, and war crimes. Who would have thought someone like Pete Hegseth would expand their stupidity, would expand their incompetence, would then lead to potential war crimes? Caitlin Collins showed what Pete Hegseth's response to all this was.
The secretary responded tonight by posting, quote, "No classified information, total exoneration, case closed." But Secretary Hegseth's messages included material from documents that were marked classified at the time. And while he has the power to declassify information, of course, we have not seen evidence that he did.
It's just a lie. It's like it's just right in front of us. So again, the next time he speaks, and then the time after that, and the third, the fourth, and the fifth time after that, there should always be a question: is Secretary of War, Department of War, Secretary, why is it that you lied about what it is that we're now seeing right in front of our faces? I mean, when we asked you all the questions at the time, we knew you lied then as well. But can you explain why your department is full of lies? What are you trying to cover up? As I've been saying lately, the good news is that nobody's buying this, including Republican Senator Tom Tillis here.
Secretary Hegseth is framing it as total exoneration. Is that how you view this report that came out today?
No, I think at some point, just take the learning experience and move on. No one can rationalize that as an exoneration. We know that mission information was outside of the classified setting that it was trusted to be in. And, Caitlin, I don't even bring a pen into a classified briefing. We obviously don't have our phones, we don't have our watches. I don't even bring a pen in to make notes, to remove any doubt that there is something that I could have dropped or put in the trash can that I forgot about, because that's how seriously you need to take classified information. Thank God nothing bad happened. Thank God the great decision that the president made to make that strike was successful, but it could have put it at risk. And why would you send the signal that maybe this is okay? Maybe you could be exonerated by leaking information before a critical mission. Just let's move past it.
Isn't it odd? Tom Tillis can blatantly and openly say that no, this doesn't exonerate him. He went to the painstaking details of how when he goes in to see classified information, he doesn't even bring an ink pen in, because he wants no sign, no suggestion that he's doing anything wrong because of the level of classified information that he's been privy to. But in that same breath, after talking about how important it is, said after Pete Hegseth has been exposed for doing this blatantly and probably repeatedly, because he hid a bunch of stuff, he's still not giving them the information from his phone. He's denied all of that. Somehow the answer from Tillis is he should just take this as a learning experience and move on. Is that any kind of way any politician would talk about how the department, the Secretary of War, would actually, after screwing this up this badly, that they can just move on? Would they say that about opposing parties, a Department of War secretary? Would they be saying things like, well, Joe Biden and them completely screwed this up completely. I mean, endangered servicemen and women, endangered the mission in the first place. Never really got the answers of how effective that mission was in the first place. That's a whole other part of this story. But, oh well, Joe Biden messed up. I think he should take it as a learning experience and move on. Do you think that'd be his conclusion? I feel like that wouldn't be his conclusion. They have those conclusions. They feel like that's some big time stark distancing themselves from this Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump, because Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth's response to all these things are exactly the opposite.
Survivors were actually killed while clinging onto that boat. Should Secretary Hegseth, Admiral Bradley, or others be punished?
I think you're going to find that this is war, that these people were killing our people by the millions, actually, if you look over a few years. I think last year we lost close to 300,000 people were killed. That's not mentioning all the families. Have you seen what happens with the families of not only the people killed, the people that are trying to get their son or their daughter off of this poison that they've been fed? I think you're going to find that there's a very receptive ear to doing exactly what they're doing, taking out those boats. And very soon we're going to start doing it on land too. Please.
So to be clear, you support the decision to kill survivors after the
No, I support the decision to knock out the boats. And whoever's piloting those boats, most of them are gone. But whoever are piloting those boats, they're guilty of trying to kill people in our country. Yeah, please.
The answer to the question of, are you willing to, should be any punishment for Hegseth or this Admiral Bradley that you guys are throwing all this responsibility on, which it's his responsibility too? Is there any punishment for them? I mean, the long-winded way that he went about it was basically, hell no, what are you talking about? We're fascists. What do you mean? Of course we commit war crimes. Why would I punish anyone for doing what I want done? Weird. It's a weird question.